The story begins in the coral-rich waters east of Australia. Known as the largest coral reef system in the world, this region is also home to a vast variety of marine life. We then shift to an airport in Australia, where a man named Luke is picking up his friend, Matt. Luke is clearly happy, not only because he is reunited with his longtime friend, but also because he sees his former lover again. She is none other than Matt's younger sister, Kate. They have been separated for a long time by distance, circumstance, and time. Luke begins to talk about his work as a sailor, proudly sharing that he now owns his own yacht. Meanwhile, Matt's wife is said to be unable to contain her excitement, eagerly looking forward to the adventure and honeymoon she will soon enjoy with Matt in the middle of the ocean. As Matt heads toward the boat parking area, Luke invites Kate to gather various supplies before departure. There, Kate notices the skull of a great white shark, which, according to Luke, was found in the surrounding waters. Luke's friend reassures her not to be afraid, explaining that no one has ever been killed by a shark in this area.
What's that? Hey, welcome aboard.
Amid their cheerful mood, Kate presents a gift from England, Luke's favorite sausages from his college days. However, despite the joyful atmosphere of her brother's honeymoon, Kate asks that they keep their emotions in check. She simply wants to escort them out to sea and enjoy the journey together.
Okay. Oh, wow. Just catch.
Thought I'd try something different.
Not long after, they arrive at a coral-filled area with a small, charming island at its center. Without wasting any time, they head straight for the island, which becomes the first destination of their journey.
29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more
Kate suddenly falls silent when she notices that the fish seem to be avoiding something. Her mind drifts back to the stories she once heard from local residents about great white sharks.
Sorry. Probably.
Long story short, they relax on the secluded island after growing tired from swimming and diving in the shallow waters. When Matt and his wife walk toward the shoreline, Luke follows Kate, who wants to explore the island they are visiting for the very first time. Even though they have agreed not to rekindle old feelings, they are inevitably carried away by the romantic atmosphere. Suddenly, Matt warns them that the seawater is receding at an alarming speed. They quickly rush to leave the island before Luke's boat becomes trapped among the coral reefs. Unexpectedly, the inflatable boat they are using scrapes against the coral, causing it to leak. They immediately push the boat to its limit, racing forward before it completely deflates and sinks.
No, nothing. Jump on it.
At last, they manage to escape the stretch of sharp coral reefs that could have severely damaged Luke's boat. After that, they continue their journey toward the next location, sailing even farther away from the Australian mainland.
Arr, arr.
is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you.
Kate cannot bring herself to miss the beauty of the sunrise. In that quiet moment, she can no longer deny that she still harbors feelings for Luke. Luke, too, feels the same way. Luke plans to invite Kate to have breakfast together. Suddenly, however, the yacht slams into a coral reef, causing it to violently list and nearly capsize. As water begins to flood the vessel, everyone struggles desperately to save themselves. When Kate and Susan finally make it to the surface, Luke risks his life to rescue Matt, who is still trapped inside the cabin.
Hey! It's stuck! This way.
Fortunately, in the end, everyone survives the accident without suffering even the slightest injury. They then use the overturned boat to stay afloat, stranded far from any island.
All right, who's next?
It is at that moment that Luke realizes the coral reef is what caused the yacht to lose its balance and flip over. And there is another terrifying reality they must face. They are in an area with powerful ocean currents. This means they could be dragged even farther out into the open sea, while the damaged boat will inevitably sink sooner or later. A distress signal becomes their only remaining hope. One of Luke's fellow sailors suggests retrieving the SOS transmitter from inside the yacht. However, Luke doubts that the device still works, considering he once used it as a doorstop. After that, Luke proposes that everyone swim in search of the nearest island from their current position. After that, Luke proposes that everyone swim in search of the nearest island from their current position. However, Luke's friend, Warren, refuses the plan. He does not want to swim without a clear direction, knowing that this area is a known migration route for great white sharks.
How far would we have
Based on his calculations and years of experience at sea, Luke is confident that if they swim north, they will find an island. Even though he knows the distance to that island is more than 15 kilometers, Warren allows anyone who wishes to follow Luke's plan to do so. As for himself, he chooses to remain with the overturned boat, fully aware that sooner or later it will sink. The debate between the two sailors naturally leaves Kate and the others feeling confused and uncertain. Shortly afterward, Luke asks Matt to help him retrieve various pieces of equipment, especially anything that might help them stay afloat while searching for an island.
Okay. Yeah.
Faintly, Luke hears Matt shouting, urgently telling him to get out of the boat. Luke immediately follows the warning after securing what he needs. Not long after that, Warren claims to have seen something resembling a shark's fin. Upon hearing this, Luke does the opposite of what everyone expects. He dives back down to search for the SOS transmitter.
See you soon.
At last, Luke finds the emergency beacon he has been looking for. Suddenly, however, he senses that the boat is slowly beginning to sink. After the risky attempt is completed, Warren receives the SOS transmitter only to discover that it is no longer functioning. Luke quickly prepares himself before the boat sinks completely.
Try that.
What was the matter?
Sharks love seals.
Meanwhile, Warren frightens Susan by saying that wetsuits like the ones they are wearing make them look like seals, one of a shark's favorite prey. As fear tightens its grip on everyone, Luke finally speaks with firm determination. He explains that the plan he is about to carry out carries enormous risks, including the possibility of encountering sharks. Now, the choice is theirs. Swim with him in search of an island, or remain on a boat that is already on the verge of sinking.
That. Yours.
I'm not going.
Luke is stunned when Kate chooses to stay on the boat with Warren. He understands that she is far too frightened to swim such an unimaginable distance. Still, Luke cannot force the decision upon her because it is a matter of life and death.
Thanks.
See you later.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes and face the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack.
Luke reminds Matt and Susan to stay close to one another while swimming. Most importantly, he urges them to treat this mission as an unforgettable adventure. one they will remember for the rest of their lives.
Hey guys!
Hey! Hey, wait!
Luke's words finally give Kate the courage to make her choice and face the open sea. Despite the danger, she refuses to remain behind like someone waiting for death. Meanwhile, Warren continues to refuse to leave. To him, staying with the boat remains the safest option, and this is the beginning of the four friends' harrowing journey in search of an island. After nearly an hour of swimming without rest, every joint in their bodies feels as though it might shatter. Throughout the ordeal, Luke continues to comfort and encourage his friends, fully aware that their journey is still far from over.
Not just screwing.
Shit, what was that?
They suddenly stop when Susan notices something suspicious rising to the surface of the water.
What is it?
Can't see anything.
Luke assumes it is nothing more than a tuna that has become separated from its school. He urges everyone to keep moving before darkness falls.
What is it?
Because the strange object remains motionless, Matt gathers his courage and swims closer to check it. His suspicion proves correct. It is only the carcass of a floating sea turtle, yet the presence of the dead turtle feels like an ominous sign, suggesting that a large predator may be nearby. As Susan begins to show signs of panic, Luke does his best to calm her and encourages her to keep moving forward.
I got you.
Meanwhile, Warren, still stranded atop the overturned boat, looks increasingly helpless. With the SOS transmitter not working, he has no choice but to wait and hope that another vessel might pass by. Worse still, Warren begins to realize that he is being stalked by a great white shark, the very creature he has feared all his life. Elsewhere, Luke and the others swim slowly and carefully, trying not to draw the attention of any ocean predators.
What was that?
Suddenly, Susan insists once again that she sees something resembling a shark's fin. As panic begins to take hold of her, Matt urges her to keep swimming and ignore it.
There! Saw something and it's big!
Okay, so what?
Whether it is fear or reality, Luke dives down to check the depth of the water, hoping to confirm what Susan claims to have seen.
Did you see something?
Don't know.
He sees nothing but the dark emptiness of the ocean floor. Even so, Susan remains convinced that she has seen a shark.
Let's keep going.
In the very next moment, Luke feels a sudden chill run through his body. Standing before them is a massive great white shark. Luke immediately warns his friends and tells them to stay calm, even as terror grips them and brings them face to face with
It's a
death.
shark. How big? Can't see it.
Moments later, Luke feels that the great white shark has moved away. He tries to calm Susan, whose panic has reached a breaking point and is nearly out of control. However, the sense of relief lasts only briefly. Panic erupts again when the great white returns and attacks once more. The force of its fin sends Matt's flotation board flying far from their position. Susan becomes completely hysterical. Matt disappears after being struck by the shark. A few moments later, he suddenly resurfaces, screaming that he has lost both of his legs.
My leg's gonna leave me! He's gonna come back!
Mortally wounded, Matt begs those closest to him to leave immediately before they become the next victims. Not long after, Susan realizes that Matt has taken his final breath right before her eyes.
Please, come on. Maddie, wake up!
With a heavy heart, Kate is forced to abandon her brother's mutilated body. It is impossible for her to carry Matt's bleeding remains in the middle of the open sea. As the darkness of night engulfs the vast ocean, Susan feels that the shark is still hunting them. Overwhelmed by grief and despair, she begins to question whether the island they have been searching for even exists. Luke remains silent. He cannot bring himself to speak because the truth is, they are indeed lost. All he can do is endure Susan's emotional outburst.
Sorry about that.
He didn't make us come with you. It's all right. Come together, come.
Without realizing it, an entire day and night pass, and they continue drifting in the middle of the ocean. Yet, against all odds, the ocean current carries them into an area filled with coral reefs.
Susan.
Be careful, huh? It's very sharp.
The scorching sun feels as though it is burning their skin. Luke urges them once again to swim toward a larger reef formation. Like it or not, they must cross deep water to get there. Luke's concern is evident, knowing this area could still be within reach of the shark that attacked them earlier.
Oh, I'm so sore. What?
Moments later, something breaks the surface of the water. At first glance, it appears suspicious, but it turns out to be nothing more than a dolphin. After that, they continue their journey, allowing the ocean current to carry them forward. Suddenly, with terrifying speed, the shark attacks Susan and drags her away into the depths. Moments later, Susan resurfaces, blood spreading rapidly in every direction. In the end, she too falls victim to the predator's attack. Strangely, the great white then abandons Susan's body, as if losing interest in its prey. Luke is overwhelmed by panic. He fears the shark will return and launch another attack. From that moment on, Kate realizes that this is the very same great white shark that had previously devoured her brother-in-law. Meanwhile, Luke desperately searches for a way to get them safely to the larger reef. Before making another move, he quietly retrieves Susan's flotation device.
Come on, Luke.
Once he has it, Luke urges Kate to keep swimming, at least to put some distance between themselves and the small reef that is now nearly submerged by the rising tide. They suddenly stop when Kate's foot is cut by sharp coral, causing it to bleed again. Fear sets in, knowing that the blood could attract the great white shark.
I love you, Luke.
I love you too.
That moment rekindles their bond, as if giving them renewed strength and courage. Without hesitation, they resume their journey toward the larger reef. However, the blood continuing to flow from Kate's wound draws the attention of the great white shark lurking not far from them. Unaware that the bandage on her leg has come loose, Kate continues swimming with cautious determination. Seizing the opportunity, Luke tries to divert the shark's attention by throwing the bag he is carrying. With every ounce of strength they have left, they swim as fast as they can toward the larger reef. But hope is shattered once again. Just as they are reunited, Kate loses Luke forever. Luke is ultimately killed by the shark. Kate can do nothing but scream in hysteria as, one by one, the people closest to her die in such tragic ways. She becomes the sole survivor of what began as a vacation and ended in catastrophe. The following day, Kate is finally rescued by local fishermen. Meanwhile, the fate of Warren, and the boat he clung to until the end, remains unknown.